4 children, and I was the youngest of the 4. 2 other siblings survived. One sister of mine died in 2000. But Stan had us, and he had grandchildren, and one of my daughters is here today, Miriam, who's expecting a baby. So there's Stan's great-grandchild, about to be born this month. Today, my dad would have been 92. And my dad was a very, very, very colourful character. You all know that because you're here today, you've all seen. If you didn't know him before, you've seen. He was a performer, much like Elaine. Loved acting, singing, dancing, loved making people happy. And part of that for him was jokes. He was always telling jokes. Do you remember his jokes? Yeah? You can't forget. And so I think that's all proof, isn't it, that it's a person who wants to make others happy. But not just in the sense of entertaining people, but also in the sense of providing for people. When he was here living in Belmore, he wanted to help other people who he considered less fortunate, even though he didn't have his sight. And he wanted to go and do the shopping for them. So he'd go round and he'd say, what do people want? And he was registered blind, but he'd have different people's money and different pockets and different shopping lists, and he'd go down Iceland and he'd go in there. He called it Icelanders. And then I was getting to change from back to Iceland. I thought, oh well, Icelanders is quite cute. And he'd go down there, and they knew him there, and they'd take him round, and he'd get all the shopping. And, you know, real character, even in, you know, coming up to 90, carrying on doing all of that, until he had a fall out on the street, and that just changed the direction of his life, and from there he really started to go downhill. But he was still cheerful, still singing. We'd go and visit him in hospital and he'd be singing his heart out. Jones already mentioned Wings of a Dove, the Wings of a Dove. He loved singing it. And he'd adopt this really high, squeaky, shrill voice and sing it with all his lung capacity. You know, it was wonderful. He also loved If You Were the Only Girl in the World, and I was the only boy, and I think Miriam has a recording of him singing that, so that might be nice. I don't know if we'll get any sound. You need to rig something up. Do you want to come forward and do that? And I'll just also mention, while they're getting that together, he was a great artist and he loved doing drawings, and he'd go up to the South Bank and he'd sit there and he'd do lots of sketches. And if people passed by, he'd give his sketches to them. So lots of tourists and things, and he likes to think that his paintings or drawings are in every part of the world because the tourists would take them back with them. He was a local guide in London. He knew a lot about London. He'd done lots and lots of different jobs. Mostly he was a caretaker here in Islington. Islingtonian through and through, born here, lived here, and loved Islington to the core. So. What can I say? I mean, my dad was just such a character. I remember going on holiday with him, and I remember as a kid being quite embarrassed because my dad was not, you know, well, he was an embarrassing type, but he'd just start dancing or singing or something. And also, he was very flamboyant. You know, you may not sort of have known those days. You saw a picture of him in his younger days, quite flashy. Well, he was wearing, like, I don't know, he loved bright colours. So he did one day, I remember in particular, an orange hat, green jacket, purple tie, and just the whole thing was a bit much. And I said, "Really, Dad?" And he said, "What's the matter with it?" You know, it's like, so really loved colour, very unconventional in his habits. He didn't believe, for example, in buying those silly things to clean your ears when a matchstick could do the same. And what's the point of dental floss? A bus ticket, you know, unconventional. And as a kid, I found it very embarrassing. But you know, I wouldn't have had him any other way because he made his mark. And a sister over here mentioned the word legacy. I work in legacy for a charity, and it's about what we leave behind, isn't it? The mark that we make. And the fact that you lot are here today is his mark, isn't it? And Elaine, with all her wonderful charm and charisma and singing and just drawing us in with her warmth. These are characters. They don't seem to be churning them out much now. One-offs, we really miss both of them. So today, as we remember, let's think about our own legacy and what we leave behind and what mark we're going to make, and if it's going to be as positive and unforgettable as theirs. So we're going to leave it now with Miriam playing a bit of a, is it a song?
I've got two things to share,
right,
really short clips about my granddad. The first is him talking about his first 2 jobs that he ever did. The first one only lasted a day, and it's just quite funny listening to it. I think it's this one, I'm not sure.
My first job lasted one day.
So what was your first job?
My first job lasted one day.
Oh. That sounds like it was not really a very good job.
Because I was doing valve holders and I was near a big stamping press that used to stamp them out.
Well, what sort of firm was this?
Oh, near on North Road.
What were they making?
Making valve holders.
For television, not for
Well,
radio?
wireless, yeah, yeah. And as soon as the machine went down, bang, I went up. So we got scared of me.
You didn't like the sound, you mean?
No, well, it was anyway. And my next job lasted 16 days. That was T-boy and plus everything.
What was wrong with that at the end?
I didn't like the foreman. I used to annoy the foreman by squeaking the box up.
What was that? What did you do?
I used to squeak the box down with the broom.
Oh, yeah. You didn't like the sound, is it?
And I didn't like the sound of that.
Oh dear.
It just made me laugh remembering some of the ways he tells stories.
Infectious laugh.
An infectious laugh. But one of the main things I'll remember about my granddad is his singing. And this is one of the songs he sang all the time, even when he was really quite sick in hospital. If you were the only girl in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, go on, give us the rendition.
If you were the only girl in the world, and I was the only boy, nothing else would matter in this world today. We will go on loving in the same old way. A garden of Eden, just made for two, and love to our joys. There would be such wonderful things to do. There would be such wonderful things for you. If you were the only girl in the world, and I was the only boy.
And I don't know why, the difference that Escape Route made to my dad, the looking forward to it, the enjoyment of it, the dressing up, which he just loved, he loved all of that, and the talking about it and telling me the plot endlessly, telling me the plot and the bit that he had and the singing bit that he had and rehearsing it. He absolutely loved it, so huge thanks to all of you involved in Escape Route. I have a special fond place in my heart for Joan. Joan was my Sunday school teacher, so big cheer for Joan.